I'm going crazy. 무뎌져.
Leaving a deep sigh in the early morning, getting up from your bed, walk to the window inside your room. You can hear the birds chirping outside to see the beautiful view of the morning. You remove the curtains away. A family of birds was flying in search of food. You noticed two little birds and two elderly ones who were their parents maybe. Those two birds are not living each other side and roaming together. You looked inside your bedroom at the person sleeping on the bed, but then you went inside the bathroom to get a shower. While showering, you were in your deep thoughts. Why do you always dress so well? It doesn't affect him. Why do you wear good makeup and make your hair? He doesn't even say you look good or something good, so today you decided to just be casual. You walked out of the bathroom wearing your towel, not caring for the surroundings. But a guess left your mouth when you saw him ruffling his hair. He was awake. His eyes also went to your figure. You tightly clenched on your towel as your eyes traveled on your body from bottom to top. Your wet hairs are dripping water. He unintentionally licked his dry lips. He looked away and he cleared his throat. I thought you were asleep. He nodded, looking away. I'll get fresh. Saying these three words, he left. You bite your lip, looking down. But in those romantic movies, when husband sees his wife in towel, he gets naughty, but you ice. Sulking, you went inside a wardrobe looking for clothes. He doesn't even care about what I wear, so why I work hard on dressing? You just picked up a white top that's a little small from your size and tied short around your thighs. From a long time, I wanted to wear these, but leave it. Let's go to make breakfast. You were working in the kitchen when you heard his footsteps looking up and you saw your husband walking toward the kitchen. Ignoring his presence, you continued your work while he found your behavior odd. Junk point of view. Wearing my clothes for the office, I walked to the kitchen. Seeing my wife, I expected her to smile at me, but she just ignored my presence. Why? It's not like I don't notice her wearing those beautiful dresses daily. And looking all pretty for me though, but I just don't know how to express my feelings. I even googled it, but got nothing words about expressing my emotions. As I stood beside the chair, I noticed her clothes. Unintentionally, a heavy lump went down my throat and a body temperature rose up. I know how I controlled myself before in the room when she came out only wearing a towel until her thighs and not this dressing. Sitting on a chair, my hands went on my thighs, rubbing them nervously. She silently placed breakfast in front of me and also sat beside me to eat. But as she sat, I choked on my saliva. Oh my, are you okay? She asked while passing me a glass of water. I noticed as tears built inside my eyes. Gulping down water, I looked at her and again my eyes went down to her. She was wearing a small crop top that was hugging her upper body tightly. You don't need to wait for me. I'll come late today maybe. I spoke, but she only nodded. What even happened? Picking up my bag, I again looked at her. I'm going. I sighed to grab her attention. She got up from her chair and walked to me. A smile formed on my lips, thinking she will bite goodbye to me, but your phone. She handed me that. I left on the table. Thanks. As I was about to go, wait. She again walked close to me and started to make my tie, which was not placed right maybe. I gulped, feeling her figure this close to me. Even her beautiful scent was hitting me today. Without thinking, my bonum snaked behind her waist. When gasped at my touch on her skin, and suddenly her lips fell on my neck, giving me shivers. That feeling of lips on my skin was just like I'm on cloud nine. She backed off, looking away with her blushing cheeks. Sorry. She spoke hesitatingly. I also got nervous but shook my head. It's okay. Saying this, I went out of home, but something inside me was begging to stop and not go. Other point of view, as young left, you start to do house chores, and then you will think of what to do more in the remaining day. As you don't work, just take care of home and your husband, and that's your choice. Well, married young was your choice too. You don't know about him, but about yourself. You did fall for him at first sight, a family friend dinner between yours and his family. It was decided by your parents to get you married, and you happily said yes, while Jung only agreed to his parents because he wasn't interested in anyone so. You thought after marriage you will do your best as a wife and he will eventually fall for you, but maybe you left him disappointed somewhere or he is still not interested in these things. But it's not like he just left you alone in this relationship. It's not a husband, but as son-in-law, he has been the best one until now, and your parents are happy with it. He's always there to take care of you too. Just a month ago, you had bad cramps because of periods, and without saying anything, he brought hot packs for you and didn't let you come down from bed to work. He made all breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you, and even asked you to help you in change because you stained your clothes and bedroom. Maybe I dreamed about him too much, and sometimes I even lose myself in those dreams. But then I remind myself that this emotion is just like a moon which doesn't rush behind the clouds but merely waits for them to pass. Sitting in his office, Jungkookff was doing his work, but he was barely giving his attention to work because his mind was filled with you and your behavior. Biting at the pen in his hand, he was looking at the computer in front of him, but his mind wasn't present there. Chung's mind was playing again, clips of you wearing those clothes and the loose hair bun of yours, soft pink lips. The way you stood close to him and he can smell your feminine flowery scent, but his thoughts were interrupted by the knock on his office door. Come in. He sat maintaining his posture as his secretary entered with files. Boss, these are files for today. Chung looked at the files. You finished these too early for any reason? His secretary stood straight and rubbed the back of his neck. Actually, boss, yesterday I accidentally promised my wife that I would bring her to dinner. Date tonight. I finished all the work early so I can have half-day leave, please. He requested to Jungkook. Dinner date? Yes. He liked to go out at night with me and see the moon and sky. I know this may be cheesy to you, but I'll feel so happy after completing these little wishes of her. Don't you do the same for Mrs. Chun too? Chung gulped, clearing his throat. Okay, you can go on half leave. His secretary smiled and left. Chung brushed his hair back, thinking, I don't even know if he likes date or not. Scoffing at his own stupid mind and behavior, he picked up files to sign. Chung also decided to go home early because the reason of his uneasiness is at home. In the evening, he didn't change her dress as Chung told you. He will not come soon, so he just made dinner and started to watch a Chinese drama. When do you like more Chinese drama than K-dramas? As the clock reached 7 p.m., you heard the house door getting up and getting up from couch. You looked at the entry door. It was Jungkook closing the door back. Is everything okay? You asked, thinking maybe he needed to go somewhere. That's why he came early. Yeah, everything's fine. Turning around, he spoke. Removing his shoes, he walked to the couch, placing his bag there, and removed his coat. So do you have to go somewhere? He chuckled, shaking his head, making you confused. Why can't I come home a bit early and spend time with my wife? Okay, for you that first sentence was okay, but the second one gave you electric shock. What? Is dinner prepared? Chung asked while noticing your pink cheeks. Yes, you can wash up outside the table. Great. Giving you his best smile, he went to the bedroom. He also noticed you're dressing. You were wearing the same dress as morning. It's gonna be difficult for him. He knows. Shrugging your shoulders, you went to set the table. After a few minutes, Jung walked down to the kitchen and he saw you cutting salad. Your back was facing him as I traveled to your slim vest down to your hip. His hands wanted to place those hairs aside and devour your skin with his lips, and touch, but controlling himself, pushed his hand in his trouser pocket and walked to you. And he helped me did. You heard his voice. No, just sit here. Nodding, he sat on a chair and you finally placed salad on the table sitting beside him. The dinner was all silent until he spoke. Do you like dinner date or lunch date? You were stunned by his question because it was too sudden. Jung asking this type of question. Pulling the spoon from your mouth, you said, I like both, but I'll prefer dinner once. Oh, why did you ask just like that? He shrugged his shoulders. Biting his lip, he again spoke. Would you like to go on a date with me tomorrow? The spoon in your hand fell and you slowly moved your hand to his head and neck, checking his temperature. But checking if you have a fever or not. He scoffed, grabbing your hand in his. Why can't I normally take Mel on a date? Is it that weird? He sighed. It's not fair, but it's new. You talked like this and asking for it. He looked at your hand, which was in his, pulling it up. He is inside the palm, making your eyes widen. Well, then, from now on, you will see many new things, so make yourself ready for them. Feeling your hair, she stood up. I'll wash the dishes, you can make the bed. Picking up plates, he went to other side of the shelf while you were still processing everything. You were kneeling on a little, making the bed sheets as you entered. You didn't notice him, but when he noticed your posture, he bit his lip, looking away and rubbing his hand on the side of trouser. We're nice to tell you he's there. You stood up and placed pillow on bed. Jung was still standing there. I'll back after changing. He nodded and sighed as you're finally gonna wear something else off. He was soon going to give in. You placed your nightdress aside and pulled the top to remove it, but in your shock, it made a ripped sound telling you the top is no more. I mean, it ripped, and now from your head, stuck until your chest. You tried to remove it, but nothing helped. Now you only have one option to call Jung and ask for his help. Your half head was out top, and top was just on chest level, while your vest was all bare. You just decided to call him Jungkookff. On your second call, he replied, "Yes, Ryan. Can you come inside and help me? Actually, I'm stuck in top." You called as your temperature rose up, thinking he will see you hot. Okay. You heard the door opening, and he entered. Jung saw you, his eyes almost widen, but shaking his head, he walked close to you. "Ryan, yes, I can see you. Now pull it up," and it's ripped from side. "Okay, I'll try." He pulled the top up, and you hissed in pain as your arm was stuck too. "Try to pull your arm. I'll pull it on your head." "Okay." Breathing heavily because of tiredness of pulling, you gave up. Jung just repeated, "What? But I can't. It's hurting now." He nodded and found the ripped part, ripping it off. Now you finally breathed out without suffocation, not noticing that you're in now. That was hard. You looked at him and his eyes. As you followed his look, you remembered you're only wearing. Quickly, you folded your arm, turning around. Jung looked away too. Sorry, I'll go back." You heard door closing. Turning around, you looked at the door. He did feel something, right? He just doesn't show that, but he do feel and keep it inside him. Now you understood the real him, smiling like a mad girl. He wore your nightdress and went out. He was sitting on bed while his eyes were looking at the big frame of a marriage photo which was hung on the wall. Well, at first you hung it there, but now it looks like he's interested in it. Jung, aren't you tired? You can sleep. He didn't hurt you, or maybe just didn't answer. Don't think that it was only you from the start. It was me too, but I just kept it hidden. Frowning your eyebrows, you made confused expression and walked to him, sitting in front of him on bed. "You mean by marriage?" He nodded at your question. "But why kept it hidden?" Now he looked at you, grabbing your hands in his. "Because at start I thought if I gave in early, I will have to show my real self, and it scared me." He looked down, but cupped his cheek, looking into his eyes. You found that spark of truth in there, as though eyes were showing a whole galaxy inside them. "You know why I happily marry you?" "Because you knew the real meaning of how hard life is, and what happens when you start to show your real self to people. They do get disappointed when you are hiding your real self behind that black curtains. They take you as a perfect person. But when the reality is in front of them, they say, this is more to believe in. Why don't you be like before? But you're different, and after marriage you just took your time. There's nothing wrong with that. So you aren't disappointed in me?" You shook your head. "No, it's better late than never, and you did it early." He smiled and hugged you, but after hugging you, he felt something. A smirk appeared on the lips you aren't wearing. Your smile disappeared and your eyes widened. He backed off, still smirking while you were trying to hide your blushing face. "Do you even know the torture you did all day on me?" Now he raised his eyebrow, asking, "Oh, what do you mean?" He scoffed and grabbed you from your vest, looking in your eyes. dress you're wearing gave me the toughest time of my life as well, you gulped during his deep, husky voice. Jungkook, you'll be late for office tomorrow. Now he leaned on your neck, his lips fell on his chin just as he did in the morning. In office, I'm the boss, and in the home, you can call me. Here we go.